So, we have demonstrated in the last lecture that there are several problems. For example, when the distributions have monotone likelihood ratio, or if the distributions are in the one parameter exponential family, there are one sided testing problems or certain two sided testing problems for which UMP unbiased tests UMP tests can be derived. However, we also demonstrated that there are certain cases where UMP test cannot be found. In fact, we have demonstrated that they do not exist. Now, if that happens, then we can simply impose an additional condition which is called a condition of unbiasedness, and then we may try to find out the UMP test among the unbiased tests. So, these are called UMP unbiased tests. So, we may say this condition: a test function phi for which the power function beta star phi satisfies the condition beta phi star theta is less than or equal to alpha for theta belonging to omega h, that is the null hypothesis parameter set, and it is greater than or equal to alpha for theta belonging to omega k, that is the alternative hypothesis parameter set. Then this test function is said to be unbiased. Let me call this condition 1. Now, let us see what is this. For example, we have considered theorem 2 when the families with the monotone likelihood ratio were there, and for the testing problem for theta less than or equal to theta naught against theta greater than theta naught. So, what we showed there that beta phi theta is actually increasing function. So, at theta is equal to theta naught, the probability of type 1 error is the maximum, and therefore, beta phi star theta was less than or equal to alpha for theta belonging to omega h, that is theta less than or equal to theta naught, and thereafter it was greater than or equal to. So, it was an example of an unbiased test. So, whenever an UMP test exists, it is unbiased since its power cannot fall below to that of the test, say phi x is equal to alpha. That is we always reject with probability alpha whatever be x, and we accept with probability 1 minus alpha. Then this test has expectation equal to alpha, that is the power function is actually equal to alpha. So, for a large class of problems, for which a UMP test does not exist, there exists a UMP unbiased test. So, we may consider theta less than or equal to theta naught, theta is equal to theta naught against theta naught equal to theta naught, and also the cases of the nuisance parameters. In many of these cases, we will be actually demonstrating the existence of the UMP unbiased test. So, we give a definition here which is called similar tests. So, these are helpful in deriving UMP unbiased tests. So, we call what is known as similar tests. What are similar tests? So, a level alpha test phi of the hypothesis testing problem h naught theta belonging to theta naught against h1 theta belonging to say theta 1 is said to be similar on the boundary. So, boundary of this theta naught and theta 1, let us denote it by some say tau, that is equal to theta naught closer intersection theta 1 closer if beta phi theta star is equal to alpha for all theta belonging to tau. So, this is called a similar test. We have the following lemma here. If the distributions p theta are such that the power function of every test is continuous, and if phi naught is UMP among all tests which satisfy 2 this condition of similarity and is a level alpha test of H naught versus H1, then phi naught is UMP unbiased. So, this is a very useful result. So, this similarity is a very useful concept. So, first of all, what we are saying, if you look at this one, then we needed here that the power function should be less than or equal to the level for the values, that is the probability of type 1 error basically, and the power should be greater than or equal to alpha. That is what we are actually saying for the unbiasedness condition. So, in order to achieve this, we are imposing a condition of the continuity on the test function and a similarity condition, that is on the boundary the value alpha should be achieved. So, then what we are saying is that in these cases a UMP test will actually and a UMP test, if it is similar test, then certainly it will be UMP unbiased. So, let us look at the proof of this, which is quite simple. The class of similar tests contains the class of unbiased tests So, phi naught is uniformly at least as powerful as any unbiased test. On the other hand, phi naught is unbiased since it is uniformly at least as powerful as phi x is equal to alpha. So, this proves that it is a UMP unbiased test. This class of similar tests contains the class of unbiased test. So, phi naught is uniformly at least as powerful as any unbiased test. Okay. On the other hand, phi naught is unbiased since it is uniformly at least as powerful as phi x is equal to alpha. Therefore, phi naught will be UMP unbiased. Now, let us consider applications to one parameter exponential families here. So, one parameter exponential families. So, as usual we are considering the x1, x2, xn as a random sample. So, we write it as x. So, PDF or PMF with respect to a measure mu, we are writing down f x theta is equal to c theta e to the power say theta t x h x. So, we are having the following situation. If I am considering the hypothesis testing problem, I will name this as say h 1 theta less than or equal to theta naught against say k 1 theta greater than theta naught. The situation here is the UMP test exists, because q theta, that is theta here, is strictly monotone. So, the situation here is that a UMP test exists. Let us consider say theta less than or equal to theta 1 or theta greater than or equal to theta 2 against say theta 1 less than theta 2. In this case also a UMP test exists. So, in the lecture 24 we have given the form of these tests, and in the previous lecture 25 I have given several applications of these two tests, and the form of the UMP test has been derived. Let us consider say theta 1 less than or equal to theta less than or equal to theta 2 against k 3 theta less than theta 1 or theta greater than theta 2. This 3 is actually the dual of 2. Here a UMP test does not exist. And if we consider theta is equal to theta naught against, this is also alternative is two sided here, a UMP test does not exist. In the previous lecture I have demonstrated through the double exponential distribution that for such a problem a UMP test does not exist. We have shown that a UMP test which is having the maximum power for theta greater than or equal to theta naught has a smaller power than another test for theta greater than theta naught and vice versa. Therefore, UMP test does not exist. So, we have the following result, that is UMP unbiased tests do exist here. So, this is stated in the following theorem. For detailed proofs you may look at the book of Lehman or Rohatgi. Let x So, when we consider the random sample, we generally write the joint density. So, I am calling it as a random vector with probability density with respect to some measure mu . So, f x theta is equal to c theta e to the power theta t x h x, where theta belongs to say theta subset of R. Then for testing H 3, that is this particular third case, theta 1 less than or equal to theta less than or equal to theta 2 versus k 3 theta less than theta 1 or theta greater than theta 2. There exists a UMP unbiased test given by phi x is equal to 1 when t x is less than c 1 or t x is greater than c 2. It is equal to gamma I when Tx is equal to Ci for I is equal to 1 2, and it is equal to 0 if C1 is less than Tx less than C2, where Ci's and gamma i's are determined by expectation of phi x under theta 1 and under theta 2. This should be equal to alpha. Let us have a comparison with the test which I gave in the lecture number 24, just to appreciate the dual problem. Here we had considered this Q is strictly monotone. So, you had monotone likelihood ratio and T x, which is satisfied here. For theta less than or equal to theta 1 or theta greater than or equal to theta 2, which I am actually describing as H 2, a UMP test was given here. Now, in H 3 we are having simply the dual of this. In H 3 we are having the dual of this H 2 here. However, the test is UMP unbiased here. Let me briefly sketch the proof of this, although I have been skipping the proofs of the theorems. In fact, for the detailed proofs one can look at the book of Lehmann and Romano or Rohatgi and Saleh, etc. However, a few of the proofs I will just simply sketch here. So, here the distribution is in the exponential family. In the exponential family, if I have an integrable function, the integral or the expectation, you can say it is continuous function. So, we can use this thing, that is because to apply the lemma, what we wanted here is that power function of every test is continuous. So, power function here will be expectation of phi x here. So, this should be continuous. Now, in order to have that, what we can do is we can use the condition that we are having the exponential family here. So, the exponential family ensures that for any integrable function, the integral or expectation is continuous. So, expectation of theta phi x is continuous. So, we can apply the previous lemma. So, according to the previous lemma, let us consider the boundary. What was the boundary? Boundary was consisting of theta 1 and theta 2. That is, you had theta actually the notation that I have used here is theta naught and theta 1 for the null and alternative hypothesis set. So, here theta naught was in this particular problem the theta 1 to theta 2, and theta 1 is actually complement of theta naught. So, if I consider this tau, that is theta naught closure intersection theta 1 closure, then this is going to be equal to theta 1 theta 2. So, now let us consider, we first consider minimization of expectation phi x for theta outside the interval theta 1 theta 2 subject to the condition 2. Now, if we translate the problem to 1 minus phi x function, then from the result on dual testing problem, its solution is given by 1 and 2. Therefore, this test is UMP among all satisfying 2. So, by it is UMP unbiased. Also, from the result on dual problem, it follows that the power function of the test has a minimum at a point between theta 1 and theta 2 and is strictly increasing as theta moves away from this minimum in either direction. So, basically what you have seen here is that this result is actually following straightforwardly from the concept of similarity and the dual problem that we considered, where the null hypothesis was two sided. Here the alternative is two sided. So, UMP does not exist, but UMP unbiased can be found here. Now, I will also consider, and of course, you can see here the test function's form is exactly 1 minus the form of the test for the dual problem here. Condition is also the same here. Okay. Now, let us consider the point null hypothesis and the alternative is two sided. Now, in that case, one of the conditions gets modified. Let me state it in the following theorem. Let x is equal to x1, x2, xn. So, again the same conditions are there. Let me just for convenience I am restating it. Be a random vector with probability density function with respect to some measure mu, that is f x theta is equal to c theta e to the power theta t x h x, and theta is of course lying in a parameter space which is a subset of the real line. Then for testing h 4, theta is equal to theta naught against k 4, theta is not equal to theta naught. A UMP unbiased test is given by you note here that actually the form is given by the test which I have stated for the previous problem. However, the size condition will get modified. So, let me give it here. It is phi x is equal to 1 when t x is less than c 1 or t x is greater than c 2. It is equal to gamma I when t x is equal to c I is equal to 1 2. It is equal to 0 when c 1 is less than t x is less than c 2, where gamma i's and Ci's are determined by expectation of theta naught phi x is equal to alpha and expectation of theta naught T x phi x is equal to alpha times expectation of theta naught T x. Note here that here we have a condition in which the statistic T is also involved. So, this was not there in any of the previous results here. So, for the proof I refer to the book of Lehmann and also the book of Rohatgi. I am not going to discuss the proof in detail here. However, let me give certain comments here. The test can be simplified if the distribution of T is symmetrical about some point A. For example, so if I say it is symmetric about a point A, then actually you will have probability of T less than some x minus u is equal to probability of A minus u is equal to probability of T greater than A plus u for all u on the real line. So, any test which is symmetric about A and satisfies 2 will also satisfy 3. So, automatically this condition will be satisfied and therefore, we do not have to consider two conditions in these cases. So, let me just give it here. For example, you may consider here so, we can actually show that this value is equal to minus expectation theta naught T minus A psi T. That means, this is actually equal to 0. So, if this is actually equal to 0, then so this will become equal to 0. That means, this condition becomes this condition. So, it is automatically becoming true. Therefore, Ci's and gamma i's are determined by alpha by 2, C2 is equal to 2a minus C1 and gamma 2 is equal to gamma 1. So, the conditions get actually modified. In place of writing down these two conditions, we can actually reduce to these two conditions here. Another important point which I would like to mention here is that the tests that we have stated in the two previous theorems for the two-sided alternative hypothesis testing problems, these are UMP unbiased, they are actually strictly unbiased. What is the meaning of strictly unbiased? That as soon as we move away from the point theta naught, then if we are going to the alternative hypothesis set, it is becoming strictly greater than alpha. If we are going to the null hypothesis set, it is becoming strictly less than alpha. Let us consider example here. Binomial distribution. Okay. So, let us consider say x follows binomial NP. We are considering the testing problem for H4. So, I will use this notation H1, H2, H3, H4. Reference is clear here. The alternative is P is not equal to P naught. So, here you have the distribution function and the form of the density function NCX p to the power x 1 minus p to the power n minus x. If we are writing in the form of the exponential family, we are writing it as 1 minus p to the power n e to the power x log p by 1 minus p. So, here this is x, T x is equal to x and theta is equal to log p by 1 minus p and T x is equal to x. So, if I say p is equal to p naught, then theta is equal to theta naught, that is equal to log of p naught by 1 minus p naught, and theta naught equal to theta naught, then it is equivalent to p naught equal to p naught. So, the hypothesis testing problem is restated in the form of this, where we are getting the one parameter exponential family. So, the test is phi x is equal to 1 when x is less than C1 or x is greater than C2. It is equal to gamma I when x is equal to Ci for I is equal to 1 2. It is equal to 0 when C1 is less than x is less than C2. The constants C1, C2, gamma 1, gamma 2 are determined that is expectation of P naught phi x is equal to alpha and expectation of x phi x is equal to alpha expectation P naught x, and of course, expectation of x in the binomial distribution will be NP. So, here it will become NP naught. So, let me call these conditions 1 and 2 here. Let me write down these conditions in detail. The condition 1 can be written as, this is actually probability of x less than C1 or x greater than C2 plus gamma 1 probability of x is equal to C1 plus gamma 2 probability of x is equal to C2 is equal to alpha. I may consider the reverse of this also. I may consider probability of C1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to C2 under P naught, of course, here. So, this I am removing from here and we can put it as 1 minus gamma 1 probability of x is equal to C1 plus 1 minus gamma 2 probability of x equal to C2 is equal to 1 minus alpha. So, this condition is then sigma NCX P naught to the power x 1 minus P naught to the power n minus x, where x is from C1 plus 1 to C2 minus 1 plus 1 minus gamma I NCCI P naught to the power Ci 1 minus P naught to the power n minus Ci, I is equal to 1 2, that is equal to 1 minus alpha. Now, given the value of P naught and n, one can do certain interpolation and determine So, the left hand side can be determined from tables of binomial distribution. Now, what is the second condition? The second condition so again we consider 1 minus. So, x into 1 minus phi x, that is equal to 1 minus alpha expectation of x. Of course, you may ask the question that why we are taking 1 minus. This is for the simplicity, otherwise here we have to write 2 regions, here we have to write only one region if I am taking 1 minus. Therefore, it is convenient to consider 1 minus in both of these places. Now, this is equal to 1 minus alpha into n p naught here. Now, the left hand side if you look at once again, this is becoming sigma x into n c x p naught to the power x 1 minus p naught to the power n minus x for x is equal to c 1 plus 1 to c 2 minus 1 plus sigma 1 minus gamma I into n c I into c I, because we are considering multiplication of x. So, here you will be c I n c I p naught to the power c I 1 minus p naught to the power n minus c I is equal to 1 2, that is equal to 1 minus alpha n p naught. Now, here we do some sort of simplification. See this x into n c x, that is equal to, and of course, p naught to the power x into 1 minus p naught to the power n minus x naught minus x. So, this is x into n factorial divided by x factorial into n minus x factorial p naught to the power x into 1 minus p naught to the power n minus x. This we can write as n into n minus 1 c x minus 1 and then p naught here, p naught to the power x minus 1 1 minus p naught to the power n minus 1 minus x minus 1 here. So, obviously, we can use this in the above relation. So, here we have n c x into this term. So, n p naught will come out. In the second term, it is c I into n minus c I, and again here we can use this thing, n p naught can be written outside, and this will become n minus 1 c I minus 1, and this will become minus 1 here, here this will become minus 1, and n p naught will get cancelled out. So, this will give me simply n minus 1 c x minus 1 x is equal to c 1 plus 1 to c 2 minus 1 p naught to the power x minus 1 and 1 minus p naught to the power n minus 1 minus x minus 1 plus 1 minus gamma I n minus 1 c I minus 1 p naught to the power c I minus 1 1 minus p naught to the power n minus 1 minus c I minus 1, I is equal to 1 2, that is equal to 1 minus alpha. And if you see this condition, there is a slight difference from these conditions here. Here you are having n c x here, this is n minus 1 c x minus 1. So, once again you can see this left hand side can be determined from tables of binomial distribution. So, one can actually evaluate. Now, you will be given in a given problem, n will be given to you, p naught will be given to you. So, after substituting these values, this is reducing to looking at the values from the. So, for example, suppose I say p naught is equal to half. If I take P naught is equal to half, then these conditions become extremely simple. Let me just show you it here. If I take say P naught is equal to half, then this is becoming simply half to the power n. Okay. Let me just demonstrate. Let us consider as a special case, say n is equal to say some value say 10 and P naught is equal to half. Then what it is reducing to? Then the conditions reduce to, let me write it here one by one. So, the first condition you can see here, it is NCX. So, this is becoming sigma 10 CX, x is equal to C1 plus 1 to C2 minus 1. This is becoming half to the power n, that is half to the power 10, plus sigma 1 minus gamma I 10 C C I, and once again half to the power 10 is equal to 1 minus alpha. Suppose I say alpha is equal to 0.1. So, this is becoming 0.9 say. Suppose I am taking alpha is equal to 0.1. Then immediately you can see, you can multiply by this 2 to the power 10 on this side. So, this is becoming 10 Cx, x is equal to C1 plus 1 to C2 minus 1 plus sigma 1 minus gamma I is equal to 1 to 2, 10 C C I is equal to 2 to the power 10 into 0.9. And similarly, if you look at the second condition will become, the second condition will become sigma 9 Cx minus 1, x is equal to C1 minus 1, C1 plus 1 to C2 minus 1, half to the power 9 plus sigma 1 minus gamma I is equal to 1 to 9 C C I half to the power 9 is equal to 0.9. So, this will become equal to sigma 9 C x minus 1. We may put it in the terms of y, say y is equal to, I am putting x minus 1 is equal to y. So, this is from C1 to C2 minus 2 plus sigma I is equal to 1 to 1 minus gamma I 9 C, and of course, this would have become minus 1 here. So, that is C I minus 1, that is equal to 2 to the power 9 into 0.9. So, these two conditions, condition star and double star and double star can be solved using binomial coefficients. To get values of C1, C2, gamma 1 and gamma 2. So, in this problem I have demonstrated that a uniformly most powerful unbiased test exists. So, we have considered one parameter exponential family here. So, for the point null hypothesis, and the alternative is actually two sided, we are able to exactly obtain the test function. Of course, the constants C1, C2, gamma 1, gamma 2 have to be further determined. We have to actually carry out a little exercise here. We have also demonstrated that for continuous distributions such as normal, for testing for mean or testing for the variance, again we have shown that the two sided alternative UMP unbiased test will exist here. So, let us look at that case. So, applications to testing for normal variance. We have a random sample from normal 0, sigma square distribution. So, we need to write down the joint distribution to look at the formulation here of T x e to the power minus sigma x I square by 2 sigma square. So, here your parameter theta is equal to minus 1 by 2 sigma square. Of course, you can see this is an increasing function here, and T x is equal to sigma x I square. So, if I consider the testing problem, sigma square is equal to sigma naught square against sigma square is not equal to sigma naught square, then the UMP unbiased test is given by phi x is equal to 1 if sigma x I square is less than C1 or sigma x I square is greater than C2. It is equal to gamma I if sigma x I square is equal to Ci, I is equal to 1 2. It is equal to 0 if sigma x I square lies between C1 to C2. And now this part we can take gamma I to be 0 as x i's are continuous. So, this part can be then included here. Also, we can note here that sigma x I square by sigma square, that will have chi square distribution on n degrees of freedom. So, if I am considering under the null hypothesis, I can consider division by sigma naught square here, so that the distributional properties will be easy to study. Then we will have, say, expectation of where Ci's are determined by expectation of sigma naught phi x is equal to alpha and expectation of T x divided by sigma naught square phi x is equal to alpha times expectation of T x by sigma naught square. So, we will determine the constants C1 and C2 using both of these conditions. Since this condition can be simply written as expectation of sigma naught 1 minus phi x is equal to 1 minus alpha. So, 1 minus phi x means this is becoming probability of C1 less than or equal to W less than or equal to C2 is equal to 1 minus alpha, where W follows chi square n distribution. So, this is simply to be determined from the tables of chi square distribution on n degrees of freedom. However, let us look at this condition 2 also. What is this condition 2? In the condition 2, you are getting, once again if I write 1 minus, so this will become expectation of sigma naught T x 1 minus phi x, that is equal to 1 minus alpha times expectation of T x, because expectation T x gets cancelled out on both the sides. So, this is then reducing to integral W, and of course, we are also considering division by sigma naught square. So, this is W here. So, this is W into the density function of a chi square variable on n degrees of freedom from C1 to C2. This is equal to 1 minus alpha, and this is n, because expectation of W is n. So, if we consider the density of chi square on n degrees of freedom, that is 1 by 2 to the power n by 2 gamma n by 2 e to the power minus w by 2 w to the power n by 2 minus 1, then this is equal to 1 by 2 to the power n by 2 gamma n by 2 e to the power minus w by 2 w to the power, now one power is getting added. So, this will become n plus 1 by 2 minus 1. If that is so, then here I add the coefficient here, I write here gamma, this is n by 2 here and then n by 2 here, and then I add one power here and I add one power here. So, this is becoming n times g of n plus, so this will become n plus 2 here rather than n plus. So, this is, that means this is density of PDF of chi square n plus 2. If this is PDF of chi square n, then this is PDF of chi square n plus 2. So, this condition then can be written as C1 to C2 g n plus 2 w dw is equal to 1 minus alpha. So, the two conditions are then C1 to C2 g n w dw is equal to 1 minus alpha and C1 to C2 g n plus 2 w dw is equal to 1 minus alpha. Now, if we consider integration by parts in this one, integrate by parts in the second condition and use the first. Then we get C1 to the power n by 2 e to the power minus C1 by 2 is equal to C2 to the power n by 2 e to the power minus C2 by 2. These tables of C1 and C2 are tabulated by Peshares in 1961 in a paper in Annals of Mathematical Statistics here. And another thing is that if n is large, then we can consider the two conditions to be exactly the same. If n is large and sigma naught is not close to 0, we can take 0 or infinity. We can take an approximate test as C1 is equal to chi square n 1 minus alpha by 2 and C2 is equal to chi square n alpha by 2. So, today I have demonstrated that applications of a two-sided alternative hypothesis testing problem, we have UMP unbiased test, and I have given applications to a binomial problem, to a normal problem, and of course, here you notice that the application is limited to one parameter exponential family, and in the one parameter exponential family I have taken a specific form theta into Tx. So, for such a problem, then we are able to derive the UMP unbiased test. Now, in the next lecture I will be considering the completeness aspect also, and we will introduce the test with the Neyman structure. Now, using this structure we will show that we will be able to provide the solutions when we are having the nuisance parameters. The simplest case, for example, we have a normal distribution with the two parameters, then what happens? We will actually show that in all these cases UMP unbiased tests can be derived. So, as an application we will consider all the normal distribution problems for testing for the mean, testing for the variance in the presence of the other parameter. We will also look at certain applications to distributions such as exponential and others. Here of course, there is a concept of the ancillary statistic that will be utilized, and completeness and the Basu's theorem will also be helpful. These things we did it in the first part of this course, namely when we were discussing the point estimation, we have introduced these concepts. So, we need to look at those things again, and we will be using this thing. So, I will continue the concept of unbiasedness in the testing problems in the following lecture.